European market. And I'm really pleased to be able to introduce to you Ben Veldkamp from the Dutch wholesaler Hanos. So Ben's been working with the industry over the past few years on introducing Cervena to summer menus in the Netherlands. He's been a big part of the project. His role at Hanos, he's the lead game buyer at the Dutch wholesaler, and he's actually one of the first people I met when I joined the industry, and his passion and commitment to Cervena is pretty infectious. So Ben, lovely to have you here, and I'll hand over to you now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be here. Last year I was here on a video wall, but now I give you the bonus, and I am here in live person. But I'll again give you our story. We are 1 year further than we were last year, so I want to share my experiences with you. So first I have this video which gives you an impression what Hanos is all about. I am working for Hanos now for more than 25 years. I've almost never done other than work at Hanos, but I was told that Hanos is quite special and that companies like Hanos are not known in New Zealand, so I thought we'd give you a couple of minutes of video about what Hanos is all about.
Don't stop. Hanos, it will open a whole new world for you.
Hanos, il y a le monde qui s'ouvre pour vous.
Don't stop.
Hanos, voor kwaliteit en service.
Hanos für Qualität und Service.
Hanos, plus que 100 000 articles.
Hanos, uw horecapartner.
Don't stop. Hanos, over 100,000 articles. Don't stop.
Hanos für Ihre Einrichtung.
Hanos, voor uw totale inrichting.
Hanos, pour votre paquet horeca complet.
Don't stop. Hanos, your catering partner.
Hanos, er gaat een wereld voor u open.
So that could give you a small idea about what Hanos is. Then back to the project Cervena. In 2014 we started to launch Cervena or farm deer into our outlets. So far our customers were used to eat venison and other game during game season, very short period of time, of course. And in 2014 we start to promote the venison during spring and summer. In 2015, last year, we entered the Cervena project, and this year we are in the second year of our project. I just wanted to share with you our last year promotions and how we enter with Cervena into our market. The mission of Hanos first is we have service to provide on a high level, serving to customers a total range of products for the out-of-home market, and that's the only customer we have, the out-of-home market, restaurants, hotels, etc. Consumers cannot buy at Hanos. We only deal with professionals. We offer a high level of knowledge in all disciplines. Hanos is a one-stop shopping experience, both cash and carry and also delivery service. We want to be competitive in the Dutch market, and the concept is, as I said, one-stop shopping. Hanos covers the total of Holland and the northeast of Belgium. In Belgium we have 2 outlets. In the Netherlands we have 14 cash and carries. We have 4 warehouses and 6 distribution centers. So we are absolutely able to cover the total of Holland. Hanos works with partners, and these partners are actually owned by Hanos. We have kitchen equipment technology, people who can really help you create the kitchen you want into your hotel or your restaurant. We have a company which is able to build the total of your interior, from the chairs, the tables, the curtains, whatever. We also have a company that does imports of wine. We have our own meat company. We have a fish company. And we also deliver to prisons, hospitals, etc., etc. As I said, our promotion campaign started in 2014. As a spring and summer product, we tried to put Cervena in spring and summer. And we started to position the meat as farm deer, not farmed deer, farm deer. There is a typical Dutch word for that, which says that the deer comes from the farm. And with that word, we immediately say to our customers, look, this has nothing to do with game. This is an animal which lives on the farm. In 2015, we were asked to add Cervena, to enter the project of Cervena. And Cervena we brought as a premium quality. The Cervena products were presented as being healthy, socially responsible, trendy, and of course, very tasty. In 2015, we had a pilot. 7 of the northern outlets went on to focus on lean and healthy, and the 7 southern outlets went with a focus on soft and tender, just to see how the public was responding to it. For 2016, we let this go. We just want to bring the product as with all the benefits it has. So we let go of these focuses. Our target groups from the beginning were steakhouses, barbecue restaurants, grill restaurants, and we absolutely did not want to enter the product, bring the product into the high-level restaurants. 1, 2, 3 Michelin star restaurants want to stick to the season, and it was not to expect that they would take Cervena on the menu. So we focused on the middle-class restaurants. In 2015, we started with 28 ambassadors. We made all the 14 outlets pick 2 customers as being an ambassador. And during the project, some high-classified restaurants joined the group. We gave the ambassadors 10% discount on the Cervena cuts. We gave them exposure in Passion High, that's a high-quality culinary magazine. We gave them free POS materials, and we organized a cooking contest with Cervena meat amongst them. We also provided them a workshop with Graham Brown, just to show what the possibilities are with Cervena. Hanos has its own newspaper. We send it to 150,000 professionals in the Netherlands and Belgium. It has a rich content with information, inspiration, and price promotions. In 2015, at the beginning of the Cervena project, we had a special of 7 pages with the team Cervena. POS materials, think of flyers, roll-up banners for use in our own cash and carry outlets and during fairs. For our ambassadors, we made flyers, roll-up banners, recipe flyers, table cards, thank you cards for the guests. The ambassadors, as soon as we got all the 28 ambassadors, we gave them a workshop together with Graham Brown. and just to show the possibilities with the meat. We had some outdoor events at Hanos, with Hanos, in Hanos, but also with the WQA, the World Barbecue Association, just to also not only spread the Cervena news to our customers, the chefs, but also to a little bit try to reach the restaurant visitor. In the end, we had a competition called Best Cervena Dish. It was hard to find competitors for it. We, in the end, found 10 chefs competing with each other, and the finals were in February 2016. And, well, some really amazing dishes came along, so the chefs really did pick it up and started to cook real nice dishes with Cervena. We get help a little bit. We have a good relationship with Passion High magazine, and the guy who owns this magazine is also very fond of Cervena, and he really does a fantastic job putting a lot of effort into the stories written in this magazine. Magazine has 8,000 editions, so we also reach a lot of chefs with that magazine. We do in-store promotions. We have week deals, of course. We have to just find a way to make the chefs choose for venison. And in Holland, well, nothing helps better than a special offer. After all, we're Dutch. Then for 2016, we kind of like to learn the lessons from 2015. We chose to go for a lot less ambassadors as we did last year. We only have 6 now. We use them, as a matter of fact, for the first 2 editions of the Passion High magazine, and later on we catch up with the competitors in the competition to do editions of Passion High magazine. This is how we like to use for example, the pull-up banners and the table skirts with the nosings and tastings in shop. We made for 2016 a mini magazine. In 2015 we created this special, 7 pages of special into the Hanos newspaper. But when the Hanos newspaper reached the restaurant and the chef has read it, and maybe some people in the front office, they most of the times turn the oven on with it, and then all the information is gone. So now we created a mini magazine, and the mini magazine goes additional to the Hanos newspaper, but we are able to reprint them, reproduce them, so we can use them during the workshops, nosings and tastings, and also during the outdoor events. Well, I think by the time that I'm standing here, the flyer for the Cervena competition is ready, so we are able to send all our customers who are in the delivery service. We can send, together with their order, we can send an apply form for entering the competition. And in our shops, our 14 outlets, we also hand over the leaflets to the chefs so that they enter the competition. So I'm quite confident that we will have a beautiful competition in bringing the best Cervena dish in 2016 as well. I think that's it. So, saying something about our challenges.
But why don't you grab that mic, and I'll stand here, and
You chase me away.
we can do a dual act at this stage. So, obviously, Ben's taking you through the background of Hanos and how the operation works, and just the substance of it all. A €1 billion turnover is the Hanos business. And what we're asked to do was to provide you some background, some feedback on the lessons learned, and perhaps some of the ways forward. So we'll do this as a dual act, if you like, and we are keen to take any questions along the way if we're allowed to, as we go. I'd just like to acknowledge, though, in the room today, obviously Ben, who's got a similar haircut to myself. Not all our customers look like that, but well done for being here, Ben. But also we've got our processors here, we've got our farmer shareholders and suppliers, so we're great that we're all here together today with Hanos and First Light. So just a little bit about the history. I'll have a go, you jump in where you need to. So as Ben went through there, before this, when the Cervena was actually just being discussed as a concept, Ben, being the leader and the innovator he is, said, I think it's now time that we launched a deer from the farm aspect into the Dutch market. Ben showed us briefly there this big green egg in Holland. I think Holland is quite unique in Europe in the barbecue culture that they do have. That's obviously where we got ours from. So it is unique compared to perhaps some of their neighbours. So at that stage in April 2014 we started the trial. We actually started it in 2006 before that, and we launched and it failed. So it was too early, but Ben told us in April 2014 it was time to go. We came and sorted into that point in time, and that's really what launched into April 2015, being the Cervena promotion, which Ben's taken us through, and of course we're underway again for this year. Very much a spring and summer focus, but one of the things that Ben would talk to you about is he's keen to extend that. So the challenges that Ben referred to is that if we go in with traditional cuts, then we'll be a traditional product. And so the whole aspect was to try and come up with unique or different style barbecue cuts. And I'll just jump forward to this next slide here. You can see the range of products. There's 11 cuts in there. You can see you've got US beef style cuts there. You've got the tri-tips, you've got the rumps on their own, you've got the top sides, you've got the ribs, and on the other side you've got a neck fillets and bowlers and blades. So we want to have a whole carcass aspect, A, so you've got a whole mixture of price points, but B, so that we are seen to be different to the traditional game that's sold in the season. So this is not, Cervena is not the same as what you can buy in the game season. So that was a key challenge, was to come up with a product range. From our point of view too, we could perhaps see that we didn't just want a middles-based business. We already had a middles-based business in the Benelux, and so it's important again, so the leg and shoulder cuts and the trim cuts are a part of this. The next one was we were mad keen to move from air freight volumes to sea freight volumes as soon as we possibly could, from a cost point of view, but you'd be aware that from a planning and logistics point of view that changes an awful lot. It places a lot more risk with this gentleman because of the essentially the 6-week lead time that we've got to work to, and the fact that when it arrives, it arrives. Yep. Do you want to talk to the next one there, Ben?
The chef's perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, it was a great challenge to how to persuade chefs to try in the Cervena to put it on the menu. In the heads of both chefs and also the consumers in the restaurants, you eat Cervena only in autumn and in winter. Thinking of venison, thoughts pop up of cold weather, winter, fireplace, heavy meals. And now we have to change that into using venison in spring and summer with thoughts like barbecue, nice hot weather, fun, trendy, healthy. You can imagine that absolutely takes time.
And you as a carry on, you're doing a good job there. What about the other couple of challenges?
Other challenges, okay. Well, the second challenge is that chefs are offered a wide range of premiums in beef, veal, fish, lamb. So we are not the only one with a premium. So we just have to persuade them to choose for Cervena by giving them knowledge about the whole chain, and also tell the story about the farmers, create a bit more of an atmosphere, just so that they can put it on the menu, want to try it. And after we are only able to reach the chef, but the chef is in the kitchen, and the kitchen door most of the times is closed. The visitors of a restaurant deal with the waiter. So we have to find a way to approach the waiter as well. But in the end, it's the consumer in the restaurant who decides what dish he take. So for us, it's quite difficult to approach the restaurant visitor, so we just deal with the chef and also the waiter.
And the last point there I think is quite unique about Ben is that because we were first into the market, a market that hadn't seen Cervena before, Ben's been insistent right from the start that Hanos couldn't do this alone, that it needed critical mass, from his friendly competitors to come into the market, helped by other New Zealand exporters, because only through critical mass could we actually build enough impetus in the market to actually make this sustainable.
Yep. Another last challenge we faced was competitors. Holland is not that big. We absolutely have some competitors, and normally when companies like Hanos offer something new, we absolutely demand exclusivity. But in this case, from the start, we informed our competitors, and we inspired them to join us, to join this project. Because what we need is when Hanos is the only one in Holland supplying this Cervena, the customer might think, okay, this is Hanos being silly again, and look at them. But we need other people to join us. And so it is more commonly accepted that Cervena is there to stay, that Cervena is a very nice and proper and healthy meal to have in a restaurant. So this year, colleagues in Holland and Belgium joined the project. But we need absolutely more companies that start offering a Cervena.
Thanks, Ben. So those were the challenges. In terms of the opportunities, Ben, you might as well keep going there. So the healthy food segment.
Yeah, the demand for healthy food is growing rapidly in Holland. Consumers are more and more aware of the essence to eat healthy. The former speakers already told it. In Holland, it's no different from America. We have the same trend going on. A growing group of consumers starts caring about animal welfare and investigate the food they consume and are willing to pay for it. We bring Cervena as free-range, healthy, lean, tender, nutritional, tasty, and of course, a trendy meal. Yep.
And this next point was a key one, wasn't it, in terms of the timing of 2014, is that the ostrich and the antelope in South Africa had been stopped because of food safety. And you thought, that's when you approached us and said, hey, there's actually an opportunity now in terms of creating this new type of product.
Yeah, that's correct. In 2006, we tried to put farm deer on the menu, and that kind of, well, the first year was pretty good, but the second year was a complete disaster. 2014, we missed 8 species of antelope and we missed ostrich, and that gave us the perfect opportunity to launch the farm deer and later on Cervena. So, well, we have a good replacement now for all these products. Ostrich comes back in, starts to come back in now, but ostrich still is not that popular as we have the Cervena in popularity now. So, yeah, the chefs that like to work with these products, ostrich, antelopes, those are the first ones to choose for Cervena. So we do have an audience, yeah.
And the third point there, Cervena's character, the integrated supply chain. We bought Ben over last year, we being Dins and ourselves. And at that point in time, Ben was using European venison alongside New Zealand venison. And after the end of that short, sharp week, Ben said, declared at the airport, I'm going to move New Zealand venison in and take European out. So, and it was, I think, Ben, the integrated supply chain, that the people in the room and the plants, just what you saw was obviously pretty impressive.
Yeah, of course it was impressive. There is a big difference when you have a very professional slaughterhouse, very professional farmers who do their job, so the industry is absolutely perfect. Compare that with a guy with a gun on his back walking into the forest, shoot a deer, take the guts out in the field, take it on horseback, take it on the back of his car, and well, you can imagine that there's a big difference. So, but we have to treat Cervena as meat. It has nothing to do with wild. So I want to respect the game season, let the customers go for the game season, because you choose game for reasons. The animal has lived his life in complete freedom, so that's why people like to have venison. We have wild boar in Holland, we have red deer, we have roe deer, so people in Holland are familiar with game, so we want to respect the game season and also the season that you eat it. But we also are not promoting Cervena in the winter time. We just do the promotion in spring and summer. But the one point I disagree with, for example, the Dins is that we have now this premium in 2014 and 15, and they like us to sell it only in spring and summertime, but the premium Cervena is there whole year. So I cannot say to my customers, well, you have had the chance of the premium until September. It is still there, but I'm not buying it anymore. You just have to deal with regular now. So we completely stopped with selling regular at the moment. We just chose to sell Cervena premium 12 months a year. And well, I think 2017, maybe 2018, we are that far that we can have both regular fresh and Cervena fresh into the product range 12 months a year. So I think that's quite a progress we make.
To be fair to say, we haven't resolved this one yet, but it's certainly it's a suggestion that Ben has put forward, and it's hard to argue against someone saying, you've got the shelf space, why are you going to take it off? But we're still working our way through that. I just see the last point there, the ongoing promotion. One thing we didn't mention before is that Ben's brought a whole wealth of material from his marketing department with the newspapers, with the Passion High magazines. I think there's 10 copies of each there, so he's keen to take you through those, and we'll find a desk downstairs to have those on during the rest of today, so he can take you through those.
Yep.
So those are opportunities in terms of the future. Some of these come from me, some of these come from Ben. The first one probably came from me, I think, Ben, which was to expand the sales volumes. So we're obviously very keen to do that. The second point is to review the sales period. It's what Ben just referred to as certainly it's a spring-summer campaign at the moment, should we look to extend that. And Ben's, again, very insistent that the market collaboration needs to happen to make this work. He can't do it on his own. It needs to be all in, and that's why it's good to see Silverfern and Alliance also involved. These 3 C's, Ben, you're pretty keen to talk about those?
Well, we can talk about it, no problem. I'm here, so why not? The 3 C's, yeah, communication, cooperation, and coordination. Those are very important tools. Putting and creating this new market for Cervena is absolutely not easy. Don't think that is easy. We were alone. Now we are with a couple of more parties, and I noticed that in New Zealand there is communication between the producers. There is good communication between the farmers. However, there is no communication on our point between the wholesalers, and that's, well, that kind of is a missed chance for me. So communication is very important. The same for cooperation. We order game. We might make a forecast in February for 10 shipments to come in, and you just decide based on some experience for 12 cuts to come in. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what the sales are going to be. I can steer a little bit with my promotions, but in the end, the customer decides what he buys. When we have a cooperation going on and I have a shortage of a certain product, and we would have cooperation, I could call up my opponent and ask him, do you have leftovers? Can I take something from you? Why is that important? When the chef has something on the menu and I run out of product, it's absolutely not done to say, well, sorry, sir, you have to rechange your menu. I'm out of stock. So it would be perfect for me to cooperate with my colleagues and to try to give each other product when it is necessary. And, well, that's a good form of cooperation. We now are for the 3rd year in the project. We have a lot of experience now. We did very good things. We also experienced some minor points, but we learned, and we are still learning. But why invent the wheel all over again? So you would expect that the newcomers in this project would want some communication and some cooperation and at least talk to each other. That doesn't happen now, but I have hopes for the future that will come.
You're in the right place to have those conversations, so maybe today.
Yep.
Midnight, probably.
Yep.
And the coordination, again, is just someone in the market to pull it all together. So I think what Ben's saying is, hey, he's seeing what DINS is doing, he's seeing what the exporters are doing, working together, and he's saying, could we try and mirror that in marketplace and make this thing work better for common good? So the financial benefits, something that's near and dear to all of our hearts is, why are we doing this? So we're obviously doing it to increase chilled sales, specifically April to September sales, which, just a reminder, is February to July production. That's the production period we're talking about. Across a whole range of 12 cuts, approximately $4 a kilo premium over frozen today, and we've got the view that as frozen rises that we can stay in that ballpark. So we'd say that today the business is delivering about 100 grand a year per annum. Obviously a lot of investment taking place towards that. And we still do see with the 3 Cs that Ben's referring to that the market in Holland alone can get up towards the $1 million mark in terms of annual premium. We do see and we do hope that the Dutch market can be a bit of a pioneer for other EU markets, and so therefore their premium could be extended beyond that. And again, just that point that the more product we pull out of frozen into chilled, we actually potentially lift the frozen market, so there's a double win there that comes out of that as well. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing it. So the last slide here to summarise what we've talked about and what we've learned. So again, we started 2006, 2007 we stopped. Ben said to me, he said to Dan and to Dins, he said, look, this needs to be a 3-year commitment. Otherwise, we're not going to start. So it is a multi-year commitment to get it established. It absolutely needs perseverance to create change. And we found someone in Ben here who has that perseverance, but also has an empathy for the New Zealand dairy industry, which I'm sure we just saw in our US speakers as well, where that is a unique trait we're looking for in our customers. They want to persevere, and they're willing to dig in and do it for the industry back here. Ben's commented they'd like to see the expansion across the other food service companies in Holland, so that Cervena becomes a mainstay product in the sphere during that, specifically the spring-summer period. And we'll leave it there with Ben's suggestion, request that perhaps we can do a better job communicating, cooperating and coordinating. I think that's us. Have we got time for questions? We'll get told we've got time for questions. 2. So any questions for Ben? Andy's got one here for you, Ben.
Ben, our larger processors in New Zealand penalise us for growing our carcasses too big, our young prime deer too big. Is there any resistance to the larger cuts amongst your Dutch restaurant customers?
I don't know what you mean with large.
Well, the prime for the German market is around a 50 to 60 kilo carcass. We get penalised if we grow our carcasses over 80 kilos, 85 kilos. Yeah. So they're what I call the larger cuts. If we're going to carry our young stock through to summer, then we can easily reach those weights. But is there any resistance from your customers for those larger cuts?
Well, there is a bit, because the premium is obviously a better quality product than the regular, and that is caused by the size of all the cuts. The size of all the cuts in the premium need to be the same. The same weight of a cut will mean the same structure of the meat is equality in tenderness. So when you go to bigger cuts, bigger haunches, saddles, or the parts, then you are conflicting with that. So there is, and I'm sure Jared can tell more about it, but there is an absolute maximum of prime cuts.
I think size is one thing, but I know you commented because we currently work on it under 2 years of age, but even under 3 years of age, you've commented about the colour, the lighter colour in the shelf, but certainly the piece size, and we do believe that follows through to eating quality as well. But it's quite apparent that if you look at a range of the Cervena product on the shelf, it is a lot paler colour, and we would say that's down to its younger age. Thanks for the question, Andy.
Janet Gregory, Land Care Trust. I'm working with farmers across the industry around environmental issues, And I noticed that you'd used Tim and Lucy leading environmental good practice in some of your promotion. How important to you is that story, and how can we work better to tell that farmer's story about what they're doing on farm and environmental sustainability?
That's a good question, thank you. We wrote a story about Tim and Lucy, just to create empathy among the chefs. I'm here now for the second time, and I've been on farms, and I was impressed by the professionality of it all. But my customers, our chefs, they don't know the story. So we have to tell them, try to give them a feeling how professional you all are, and that they are dealing with real professionals and not with a couple of small farmers just being busy with their hobby. You're professionals, and that's the story I want to tell, and that helps us selling the product, absolutely.